The Amazing Women Speak podcast, inspiring and motivating every Black woman to own, honor, and execute her amazing, individually and collectively, as it was established at birth.
Good evening, and happy Sunday. I'm Crystal L. Gunn, and welcome to another episode of Amazing Women Speak. Now, while you're getting settled in for the show, hit the share button and share Amazing Women Speak so your friends and followers can get in on this conversation. And it's Women's History Month, and we celebrate Black women every month here on Amazing Women Speak, but this month has an overall theme of My Seat at the Table, where we talk with women who have carved out their seat at the table and in some cases built their own tables and invited others to sit with them. Black women have this incredible strength to claim our rightful places across various sectors, and we are trailblazers with incredible journeys of courage and an art of taking up space. And because of our presence, the space is always transformed. So let's talk about it today. The power of presence. Black women carving out space. But before we get in on the conversation, got to introduce the BFF. Hey there, Michele. Thank you for joining us. And as always, thank you for saying yes to Amazing Women Speak and curating these conversations the way that you do. And thank you for sharing your amazing with me and with the world. Hey.
Good evening. Hey. Technology, once again, you always say when tech does its thing, that means the show is going to be amazing. And I'm looking forward to tonight's conversation. It is always an honor, Crystal, to share this platform with you, having these amazing conversations. And I'm going to dispense with all of that because time has already been taken from us. And we've got a long way to go in a short time to get there. So again, I always say we can't have these conversations without amazing women sharing this space with us. And without further ado, Divinity, come on in and introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I am Diviniti, and gosh, I'm a lot of different things. So I think I'm just going to start by saying I'm Divinity, period. And we'll talk about all the things that means as we
Come on. We are absolutely looking forward to getting to know more about you and the many crowns that you wear walking through this thing called life.
Thank you.
Whatever
I'm
platform
honored to
you are
be here.
joining us on tonight, we welcome you to drop your questions, your thoughts into the chat. We always love making you a part of these conversations. They get richer, they get deeper because of you, our guests that are out there, again, for whatever platform you are joining us. So please make sure that you are felt and experience this conversation right along with us. We call this the fastest hour of our day, and today will be no different. So Divinity, we don't do anything in shallow waters because we don't have a lot of time. So I'd like to dive in deep right out of the gate. And as we think about tonight's conversation, tell us about the moment you felt your presence felt.
Wow. Oh, my. You say, I don't even have on pearls, but I'm like, oh, that was a great question. I'm still feeling that because I'm starting to show up in different spaces consistently. So in education is one answer. When I meet students that I've had in the past that come back and are able to say, Miss Smith, do you remember me? Well, I remember you. You taught me this. You taught me that. When I started to see the impact that my life had as an educator on my students, that is definitely one of those moments. Musically, I think with the release of my album, for sure, that I released just this year, it was a very bold statement, I think, of presence and power just in releasing that project. So there's been a lot of, that was a great question. There's a lot of those different times, and I'm still experiencing them. And I'm grateful for each one that I experienced to be present enough to know that I'm saying, oh, wow, I was just seen, or somebody just really felt what I said. It's amazing. I love to have those experiences.
Awesome. So I had a conversation with some girlfriends. They were asking me about tonight's show, who was the guest. And one of the women at the table is someone who knows you. And so I want to talk about your music, because that's the thing that she lifted up, your dynamic voice and the gift that you bring to the world musically. And you talked about that being one of the places where your presence feels felt. Tell us about your musical journey.
Well, it's been a lifelong journey. I have been involved in music and performing since I was very young. I started playing violin when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, with recitals and such, and played classical violin growing up all through high school. But I always wanted to sing. So when I was in high school, I helped to start a gospel choir in my school, and I just kind of kept that going. Met up with Terrence Parker, who was a DJ at the time. He was growing his roots and wings, and I was kind of doing the same when we were finding our way in music. And we decided to do a demo together. So that was my first studio experience. I released my first single in 2004. And it did better than I think I ever could have expected. So that's where I started in house music. But I've been blessed enough to have recorded house music. My album is jazz. I've done what's called J-pop, Japanese pop, and Japanese crossover jazz.
Wow.
All kinds of different types of music. And so people from all different walks of life, people who enjoy all different kinds of music, have gotten a chance to hear my message and hear my voice through music. And that is one of the things that is, I think, the most rewarding for me.
I love it. The house, like, now I got to go and find your stuff, because.
Oh, please. Come on now. That's where it always will be. Like, you put a beat on right now, and I'm gonna have to go on, turn the camera off and do what I gotta do.
I love it.
How did you roll into the DJing piece, though?
I always wanted to DJ. I've always wanted to DJ. Oh gosh, here we go. When I went to Mercy High School, and so I lived on the west side of Detroit. So I would take the big yellow bus that would pick me up along with some other kids in my neighborhood who went to Mercy, and we would ride the bus out to Mercy each day. And I was the entertainment a lot of the time. I would sing, I would beatbox, I would do whatever is necessary with music. And a lot of times I would do my own kind of mixes with the songs that I knew and loved. So I was like a human DJ on the bus. I've always done that. I always had an ear for music. And so when I started to get further into writing and being more involved in the house scene, I got more and more intrigued with DJing. So I finally kind of found my wings, got some opportunities to get out there and do it. And I'm really enjoying it. For me, it's just another way to share the music and another way to connect with the music as well. It's a beautiful thing.
So what challenges, as a woman, one, as a Black woman, two, have you come across in this industry?
I haven't had so much trouble necessarily as a Black woman, because this genre that I'm in is so inundated with Black producers, Black DJs, and Black people that kind of call the shots. So that's been very good. As far as an artist and a singer, I haven't had much problem either as far as being a woman, because, women tend to be the face or the voice of most of these songs and things. I think for a while there was battle, for lack of a better word, with billing and that kind of thing. Why, is it the Divinity only? Is it the producer featuring Divinity? Is it Divinity and the producer? Those are the kind of battles that I fought, but I have managed to find my way and let my voice be heard and still carve out a really good spot for myself without leaving anybody else out of the conversation as well.
So we often talk about, as Black women, it's our duty, right? It's definitely our duty to, when we find our spaces, hold that door open and bring other people that look like us, and then especially other women. Where has that been something that you've been able to do? And how has that impact looked, being able to stick your foot in that door and hold it open for some more women in this industry to come through?
Yeah, I think I have kind of paved the way, for lack of a better term, or cracked a window, busted open a door, whatever you want to call it, for some other vocalists along the way. Maybe not so blatantly, but I am if there's one thing I'm good at, it's being a cheerleader. So you may not see me in the front, but the person who needs to hear me, the artist, the songwriter, whoever they are, they're going to hear me in the back. I'm cheering, I'm supporting, I'm advising, I'm listening. So while I'm not necessarily able to pull anybody through doors, because I'm still working my way through these spaces as well, I definitely do not have a problem with sharing the things that I've learned and the observations that I've managed to collect over the years that I've been in house music or in the music industry, period.
So of the many things Crystal lifted up, one of the things that also is present in a Black woman's journey is resilience. Talk about some of the barriers you've encountered in the many spaces that you walk, and how did you overcome some of those, and how do you keep coming back to the table?
I don't think I'm even aware sometimes that I've been met with a block.
Wow.
Because I know what I want to do, and I'm going to find a way to do that thing. So there have not been many things, now that I'm thinking about it, actually, that I've wanted to do that I haven't really been able to find a way to bring to fruition in some way. Yeah, that's a good thing. Now that I'm thinking about it, there are obstacles, and I definitely don't want to make it sound like it's a walk in the park, but I think it's about your mindset. And I'm not going looking for the obstacles. I'm going looking for the stepping stones. So it's about how you look at things before you even start out the gate.
Has that always been your mindset, or did something happen along the way?
This is me.
Okay.
This is me. I'm more me now than I ever have been, just because I know now that that's who I am, and that's why I can say that's who I am, and that is who I've always been. Never really was comfortable with it, never really appreciated it until these last few years, where I can really sit and look you square in the eye and say that is who I am, and that's who I've always been. That's who I've always been.
So, I like that. So, right, like I just want to dig a little deeper in the reason why, because right, like so many of our listeners are trying to find themselves and trying to find their voice, right? Like, and we quiet it because of like a variety of reasons, right? Primarily because of patriarchy, societal norms has said, right? Like we stay quiet. So, like the moment that it became undeniable, like without apology, I can no longer allow this thing that's in me to sit in me, right? Like I got to come forward 100% of who I am.
So I guess I'll say, like, we are made mostly of water anyway, and I connect very much with water. So with this topic, this is something that I have ebbed and flowed with for many, many years. Many years. Sometimes I can stand up and say, yep, this is it. And other times I'm like, what in God's name am I even waking up today for? If I'm honest with you, this more self-actualized, self-aware, more confident version of me has only been in existence, if I'm honest, since the top of the pandemic, where I really did a lot of work on myself. I know that the pandemic was a tragedy. There were many horrible things that took place. We lost people we loved. We still have not fully recovered. But for me, the shutdown of the pandemic was one of the best things that ever. I could not be who I was. My album would not be what it is if I hadn't gone. It just gave me a chance to shut everything out and do the work that I was scared to do, the work that I felt like I never had time to do when it came to looking into myself and doing the affirmations and doing the shadow work and talking about childhood trauma and all those buzzwords that you hear. And it is very buzzword loaded, but when you pull back the buzzwords and you roll up your sleeves, that is what needs to be done. And I did that. And so I sit here now happy to be able to say that, you know, I'm okay. I have my moments, but I'm way better. Way. And it's a daily struggle. Challenge.
Opportunity. Right.
Invitation, if you will.
Right.
Come on.
So you talked about the affirmations, right? You did something that I thought was really dope and interesting. Tell us a little bit about the Little Bit Project. I said
The
that
Little
right.
Bit Project, you
Yeah.
did. Yep. That's
Okay.
my nonprofit organization. I started it, oh gosh, many moons ago, probably close to 10 now. And I started it just because, like I said, I've always been this person, but just not as deep. So I knew that I could feel just a dark cloud, for lack of a better word, over the city, the energy, the vibe, the light of the people. I didn't feel the same way I used to feel it. I was teaching near Hamtramck at the time. And it was during the time when, you know, Detroit was the murder capital of the world, and we're in the news for all the wrong reasons. And I'm going, what could I do to just kind of lift people up in a random kind of way? But because it's hard to walk up to somebody that you don't know and just say something. But if you leave something somewhere where someone sees something, they get the message, you've done what you wanted to do, and everybody wins. And so I decided to come up with what I call Little Bit cards, which are affirmation cards. There are 12 different messages on the Little Bit cards, everything from you matter to you are beautiful to everything will be all right. And I started leaving them in random places around the city and giving them to friends of mine who traveled and who were willing to take them where they went. And they have made their way around the world to just uplift and brighten people's day. Just a random act of kindness that's about the size of a little bit bigger than a business card.
I always like to see on social media where someone is, like you said, somewhere around the world, and they'll take a picture that they've left a card somewhere. I think that's sprinkling a little bit of love all over the place. I thought that was pretty dope. Yeah.
Love that. Absolutely.
Well, you know, one of the other things we did with the nonprofit that I want to speak on that you were a part of, we worked with some women in transitional. You forgot about that? Women that were in a treatment facility that were being transitioned back into regular life, for lack of a better word. And I had a program where I was going in once a week to talk with these ladies. We did journaling, we did affirmations, and I was trying to give them a few more tools for their tool belts to help them stay off of drugs or alcohol or whatever their drug of choice was once they were released from the program. And I brought in experts to speak to them about things that they needed. And Crystal was one of my experts who came in and talked to the ladies about financial literacy and getting themselves together on their feet financially for when they were back out in the workforce and in society. So I'm grateful for that too. That partnership was wonderful, Crystal.
That was like a lot of years ago.
That was like 2007, I think. 2007, yes, something. No, 17. I saw.
17.
There's some camera memories coming up in my phone. 17, yeah. So yeah, you talk about the Little Bit Project. You did that with me through the Little Bit Project.
Love that. Love it. So 25 years in DPS. Bless your soul.
More, yeah. Amen. Going to work tomorrow. Bless them. Yes.
So what age and what do you teach? Like what core class or?
I teach first grade.
Oh, okay.
Did you twitch a little bit,
I
Crystal?
did a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I teach first grade. And you know what's interesting? Like I said, I've been teaching for about 28 years now. And my career is almost half and half. 20, about half of that 28, I spent like fourth, fifth, sixth grade. Fifth grade was my comfort level grade for many years. And then the school where I was teaching, when Detroit went through one of its reorganizations, the school shut down and I was forced to get another placement. And I ended up in first grade. And it's so funny because everybody who knew me for those like 12 years teaching, the last place anybody thought they'd see me.
What's the first grade?
Anybody. I was like, listen, God has a plan for everybody's life. And let me tell you where my plan is not with these babies. I don't tie shoes. I don't wipe noses. If you got to throw up, don't come to, like, I don't do that. And so when I got displaced, as the Lord would have it, first grade is where I landed. And I absolutely fell in love with first grade my first year. I was a little nervous, but I love first graders.
Really?
I do. Yeah, I do. You know, you asked me what I teach. I teach everything. And I mean that in so many different ways.
Right.
But I teach, writing and math and social studies and science and, Apple and all of that good stuff, phonics, all of the things. But we also, we teach the life lessons. They're watching me and I'm giving them something to see. I'm saying what I feel like they need to hear me say. I'm always trying to model the right thing. So first grade has done me well.
Yeah, Tracy is Tracy Ricks is listening, and as that fellow educator, I know she can deal with that. You teach the thing, whatever the class is, but it's so much more than just the lesson.
So much more
for that, because the other stuff that you're
and
teaching
I'm grateful
truly,
for that.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful for that. I have, like I said, but as long as I've been teaching, I have some relationships with some of the students that I started with in my very first year of teaching that I'm still connected to on Facebook. They still text, they still call. Those things you just, it's wonderful.
So, right, like there couldn't be anything more on the extreme. First grade teacher, DJ, house, right? So, one of the things that I hear is that an individual can have more than one purpose on their life, more than one calling on their life, and can serve both of those things well, right? We've been taught either or, like you've got to choose a thing.
I think I want to say my purpose is a teacher, period. But a teacher, I've come to understand that teaching is not just in the classroom. So when I'm putting together a playlist, I'm teaching. When I'm DJing, I'm teaching. When I'm writing, I'm definitely teaching. Whenever I'm doing, I'm teaching. So I think a teacher is definitely my purpose, just not a lesson plans and objectives in the classroom teacher necessarily. Although that is a part of it. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right, like, go down that thought process when you're putting together a playlist. Like, okay, what is it? Because it's an art to that. It's an art to DJing and putting together a playlist. When you then look around and seeing how many people are up and singing, whether they're, you know what I mean? That's really, and we remember events and things in our lives based on the music that was playing. So what goes through your mind when you're saying, okay, I want to curate this playlist for this event or this event? Like,
sometimes it's the event itself. Maybe the name of the event will spark something and I'll get the songs in that theme. Sometimes it literally is the lyrics of the song. I'm just, I love music. I've been a music person for as long as I can remember. So I can pull a song. It may not be a song that because classic rock is where I live, really, to be honest with you. If I had to pick one type of genre to be stuck with on a desert island for the rest of my days, it would be classic rock. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
And why?
Without a doubt. Because that's what I grew up on. That's my comfort food music.
Classic.
You know
rock
what I'm saying?
is
You got
comfort
that. I don't have to say anything else. You know exactly what that means. Feel free to use that. That is my comfort music, comfort food music. Yeah. It just makes me feel good. It reminds me of my childhood. You know, I know the songs, I know the lyrics, I know the little melodies. So yeah, that's me. So a lot of times I will pull songs from everywhere. So when you get a playlist from me, it's not going to be just one thing. It's not even going to be just two things.
Right.
You're going to get a little bit of everything.
I love that though, because it's also introducing people to other things that they would have never have tasted, if you will.
That's one thing that I love to do when I play. I like to find songs that everybody knows and find different versions, like cover versions of songs that I feel like are really cool or unique, or it's fun. It's fun.
It's interesting for sure.
So Divinity, Life Magazine 2054. What's the article we read about you?
Mm. 2054?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 30 years?
You'll still be here.
I will be here. Now that wasn't the question. I'm just trying to figure out what the headline may be at that point in my life. So at that point in my life, I think I am just I'm thriving, and I am teaching other people how to thrive as well, no matter where they are in their lives, no matter where they are in their journeys. I'm checking the boxes. I have checked the boxes. I am making more boxes to check, and I'm teaching other people about how to check and uncheck boxes and work around the boxes and forget about the boxes and all the things, just to live their lives to the fullest. As I'm learning, I want to be able to teach people that same thing. So I like that for a headline for me in 2054.
So I'm gonna add a headline in here.
Okay.
5-time Grammy Award winning Divinity. Which leads us into the actual Grammy nomination that you received. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that.
Come on.
That's a very interesting point, because as I told you, I ebb and flow. So that Grammy nomination is several years old. Here's the kicker. Although I was nominated for a Grammy, and that is such a huge honor, not minimizing a thing. Somewhere inside me, I still don't feel worthy of that nomination and certificate. I have never requested my certificate of nomination. That's a Divinity true fact. It's a worth issue. It's a worthy. So like I say, I am a work in progress. Still figuring it out. Why it's such a big deal for me to request something that I worked for and earned. I'm still I'm working through that one, but transparent. And I think part of being amazing is being amazingly honest with yourself more than anything. And if I am honest, I know that self-worth is still someplace where I struggle. And this is one of those places where it pops right up. So very proud of the nomination. Working with Louis Vega was a dream. It was something that we have been talking about doing for many, many years, from the time he first heard my first release in 2004. We've been talking about it for forever. And I remember he was here in Detroit for Movement Festival. He came one year and he was like, I think I got a piece of music for you. And I was like, oh my God, is this really get ready to happen? You know, just all the things. So to do the song, and not really, I knew it was going to be a part of an album, but to do that song and to realize it was a part of a double album with all kinds of features from people from like Lisa Fisher and Karen Wheeler, and then me on there too. Just an honor and a privilege to be a part of the project, to have worked with Louis for sure. And then to get a Grammy nomination on top of it, like that was not on my bingo card at all. I just was doing the thing. So that was wonderful. It was quite an honor, still an honor.
I love that you brought that up and was so, and thank you for that honesty, because when you listen to the intro of the show, that is the discussions that we really and truly like to hear, because part of this thing that we do with Amazing Women Speak is to bring conversations to uplift and inspire Black women to own, honor, execute their amazing individually and collectively as established at birth. And it is a process to go back and walk in your greatness with ease, because we have been beat up and beat down so much and told to stay in our place and to be quiet and to, made to feel less than worthy. So I get it when you say you haven't, requested the certificate.
Yeah, I'm going to. This year, I'm going to.
So you talked about the journey and being the work in process, and you've, just within the last few years been able to say, this is who I am. It's always been who you were, but you weren't owning who you were. And I know, and I'm a firm believer, there's always something that happens that kicks that into there's the trigger for the journey to start to say, okay, the self-work. And I've watched, right, your transition and transformation over the years. But what was the thing that kicked it into gear for you?
Okay, so again, I guess I'm just a little complicated. I'm not going to do things the easy way. So there was a physical transformation, and there was a spiritual or mental transformation.
Can't
and for me, the physical started and was well in progress, and I guess the mental was too, but I wasn't as aware of the mental, I don't think, until okay, let me go back to the physical. 2018 maybe, pre-diabetic, high blood pressure medication, out of breath, just the things. And the pre-diabetic thing was the one that really got me, though. Like, I can't do that. I don't want to be diabetic. I know what that does. My dad was diabetic. I had a sister who was diabetic. So I decided to join Weight Watchers. That was where I started. So I joined Weight Watchers, and I joined, I started working with a trainer, Sydney Jones. Sydney Jones, the best trainer ever.
Wow.
I started working with Sydney twice a week. I started working with Sydney twice a week. Uh-oh.
So Michele is a physical trainer as well. That's why we were like.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Well, Sydney was my best trainer ever.
Absolutely.
And I would say it because, Sydney is one of those people who has always seen something in me that I never really saw in myself, or saw it well ahead of the game. Sydney was the person who was basically responsible for me getting hired at MAC Cosmetics. As someone with really no makeup experience, I used to always go out to the store and talk to Sydney, and she would teach me things. She was a makeup artist. She would teach me things. She talked to me. I would be learning and improving my skills, and she would be complimenting me. And one time she told me that they were holding open auditions for their on-call team, and I should bring a model and apply to work at MAC. And I'm like, that's like the mountaintop. And for me, that was the mountaintop. There's no way I'm going to be working at MAC Cosmetics. And she was on the team. I brought my friend. Anyway, she was helpful in getting me hired. And that's just an example of how she's believed in me and poured into me for over the years. She's been my trainer and quit me several times throughout the years when I wasn't ready and I was playing games. Quit me, like dropped me, but always with love. And when she knew I was ready and I came back with this pre-diabetic thing, and she had seen me, my highest weight, we started. And so with Sydney and Weight Watchers, I lost about 50 pounds.
Wow.
And then I hit a plateau for a while, and then stopped eating meat, did a few other things. And I guess I can say it. I stand before you now, down more than 110 pounds over these past few years. Yeah, more than 110 pounds. No surgery either.
Right.
Like I did it. Like I was in the gym. I got the videos and stuff to
You
prove
do,
it.
and you used to post that journey, and it was like, okay, yeah, she is really into this thing, and we could
Mm-hmm.
just see the transformation happening. And so,
So,
yeah.
Divinity, during that weight loss, what was the mental weight loss that happened?
Yeah, so it was still a struggle. And Sydney and I would talk about that. And she would say to me, when you get things better into alignment, you're going to be unstoppable. I still was not in alignment. So I would lose and then I'd plateau and then I'd gain and then I'd lose and then I'd plateau. It was always even with Sydney and with my eating changes. So during the pandemic, I was watching the Instagram battle between Erykah Badu and Jill Scott. And I'm watching Jill Scott and I'm having a meltdown because I can't even enjoy the music and the battle going on between them, their conversation and stuff, because I'm too caught up in comparison and how I wish I had that talent and I wish I could do that. And oh, she's so pretty and oh, she's so witty and oh, she's so this and that. And if only I could, and I wish I was. And I think it was like a couple of days after that I reached out to a life coach, like, help, please help me. I need some help. I can't keep doing this to myself. I'm killing myself with comparison. Comparison has always been a major blockage for me. And so I started working with Catrice Goddard as a life coach, a wellness coach, a spiritual coach, everything. And I'm telling you, she's the one that kind of definitely gave me some anchors, some guidelines, some structure so that I could start building myself out to reach closer to my full capacity, because I'm still not there yet, but I'm building out and I'm stronger on my structure so that I can build out. And I owe a lot of that to Catrice and the foundations that she's taught me that have helped me to establish the morning and evening routines that I have for myself and just the way I go throughout my day. It's been a complete mindset shift. So the mental and spiritual transformation happens, like I said, well after the physical. I want to say I started working with the trainer and everything in 2018, and then we know when the pandemic took place. But now I'm aligned out, so watch out.
So
That's
right,
all.
like that kind of transformation is also going to cost you some relationships, some friendships.
Yeah.
And one of the things we talk about is the importance of checking our tribe. And I hear both Sydney and Catrice came in your life and became an integral part of your tribe. Did it cost you relationships?
I think the blessing is I don't think I really lost anybody. You never really lose anybody you never really had anyway. Let's just say it like that anyway. So the people who were supposed to be around are still around. And so I hope somebody is watching, a few of those somebody, so they can hear me say that I'm aware of it is a challenge to be in a relationship with someone who was learning to have a relationship with themselves and still maintain. Everything is changing. There's no, I am a completely different person than I was this time last year, this time year before. I'm totally different than the past few years. And so I think I probably did lose some people, but the interesting thing is I won't even say I lost them. I just kind of dropped them off for a second. And when they were ready for me and we were ready for each other, we picked each other back up. And isn't that beautiful? So I don't think I really did lose anybody. At least I don't feel the loss. They probably feel a little bit of a loss. I don't feel a loss.
Absolutely.
But I'm grateful for the people who stuck by me and continue to get to know me as I was getting to know myself. That's a big deal. And I don't take it lightly.
Yeah, the right individuals will move out of your way for your season if they recognize they're not ready to go along. And I really like the reminder of, right, like if they aren't still here, they weren't meant to be, right? Like God will move people out of your way to ensure that you reach your greatness. And those who love you again will step away for the season and allow you to do that thing. And maybe
Yeah.
it's inviting them to do some of that work for themselves as well.
Yeah, it has, and I've been able to hear that back from some of the people in my life who've said, I thank you for doing the work that you've done. I'm learning from you. You're showing me how to do this. You're teaching me how to choose myself. You're teaching me how to prioritize myself, or you're just teaching me how to make time and space for me unapologetically, whatever it
Right.
is. So
Right.
I'm really glad to be able to hear from some of those people that they did like rise to meet themselves,
Right.
which is what we all should be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely, because we're here for we're here for personal elevation, right? And so often, we want to get to the destination, but the journey is the thing that's so incredibly important. It's that journey, and you had some great people helping you along your journey.
Yeah. One of my other teachers used to always talk to me about my destinational thinking. And so I've kind of switched that to I don't even think there is a destination anymore. The destination is the grave, I guess. And I'm not trying to rush there. So I'm going to enjoy this journey because the journey, you know what I'm saying? We can't really once we get to the destination, we can't really enjoy it in this flesh.
Right.
I don't think. Maybe. Who knows what happens when it's all said and done. But I don't want to I don't think about it as a destination anymore. Yeah, always something else to learn to do always.
So what is next for you?
Oh. Um I'm writing a children's book. I have written a children's book and we are currently in illustration stages. That's a big deal.
I
That is a big deal. Congratulations.
So excited. Thank you so much. This really is a dream.
what
This will
inspired
be my third book, by the way.
what inspired the children's book?
Affirmations. It's an ABC book. Looking through, I know what affirmations have done for me.
Mhm.
And I love a good ABC book, pattern book for the kids. I love it. I'm a sucker for it. What can I say? I'm a writer, so poetry came easy for me. And when I was looking through some of the other books, I kept seeing the books that I kept seeing doing well on Amazon that were ABC books or affirmation books for children were not for children that looked like I look.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wanted to make some brown babies that were relatable with some cute, and I'm not talking about, A is for, I'm going in with vocabulary. So we're
Mhm.
gonna level it up and we're gonna really stand in who we are and start it from a young age. So I've always wanted to do something with children. Even with my nonprofit, I have a program called Little Bit Academy that I'm just trying to get off the ground where I want to teach. And my book will be a part of that, teach about self-esteem and self-worth and those things that I've learned in my 50s that I would love for the kids to really get a better handle on when they're in their, first grade, second grade, third grade, when they're still moldable, very moldable.
Is the book coming out this year?
I'm not sure. I'm not going to rush it. We're
Okay.
still, like I said, in the beginning stages of illustration. Like literally the first 2 pages are almost done and I'm just excited. I'm just excited. So I'm not rushing it. Yeah, I'll keep you
I'm asking
posted
for my
for
own
sure.
personal, right? Because
Yes.
every year I buy for Christmas, and my children are very much adults, right? I buy them a children's book because the most powerful lessons for Christmas
That's
every
right.
year, have done it for more years than I can count. the most valuable lessons come out of children's books. And so I want to add that one to it. So that's why I asked my own selfish reasons.
I love that. I love that. So I want to take one step back.
Yes, awesome. I agree.
And I want to talk about this comment right here. The intentional change of tribe was a must for me, but I have survivor's remorse. Trying to balance being okay with moving forward and the guilt of leaving them behind. Let's talk about that for a minute.
Right? Like that's so much to unpack.
It's so much to unpack.
So much to unpack.
But you know what? For a long time, I didn't realize I had to change my tribe. And so I just kept everybody with me, and I wasn't going very far. And I definitely wasn't going very fast. And I wasn't feeling very good wherever I was moving. So what I ended up having to do is, you're right about the balance thing. It's just a choice it comes down to. You know how people say it's either you or me? It's either us or them. And if it comes down to it, I'm not willing to choose them anymore. Right. I've done that.
Right.
Done that well. Got that down pat. Not doing that anymore. Not if I can help it. So it is a challenge. And all I can say is you will pick up your people as you go. The more you shine, the more you attract shiners.
and part of that in that reflection is, why did you have to leave them behind? Sometimes folks are very comfortable in your misery. Sometimes folks are very comfortable without getting a chance to see you reach your mountaintop, right? Like they're okay with you being right where you are because in that space is serving them, right? So when they spend some time in reflecting why they could not go with you. I'm clear everybody's not intended to, but think about that why, and understanding that the need to free yourself from anything that's not serving you is not a space where guilt should live, right? You had to free yourself from anything that was not serving your purpose. And when you discover that, you'll find a way to resolve that guilt, to let it go little by little. And much like Diviniti said, leaving the door open for folks to circle back when they get ready, but it cannot be your responsibility to keep stretching yourself to go back when folks aren't willing to walk forward. You've got an assignment on your life, and your tribe was holding you back from achieving that. And if you continue to allow guilt to move you back, then you're saying to God, I was not ready for my purpose. And we're clear that you are, right? So keep stepping forward, and you left them in love so that you could do the thing that you were purposed to do. And God will make space for them to come back if their purpose aligns with what he has for your life.
And let's be clear, your tribe, your true tribe, is not going to hold you back. That's not what
we talked about, right? Like there are different tribes, right?
Yeah.
Like the true one, right? Like that circle, that midnight hour one. Really great point, Crystal.
Yeah, your true tribe is not, and like you said, you left them in love. You'll see them out. But also they should be applauding your own personal elevation. So yeah. And let's be clear. Everybody wasn't designed to be in your life forever.
True.
We try to hold on to these people and hold them captive. Some people had a purpose and a season. And sometimes the purpose was a lesson that wasn't fun, but that was their purpose in your life. So yeah. Sometimes you gotta let them go.
So we've heard about the musician, we've heard about the author, we've heard about the educator. Is there a crown that we did not talk about tonight?
Maybe. No, I think we did a good job of covering everything that needs to be covered.
Yeah,
you ladies did wonderfully.
No,
we did great.
Something else is coming. That's what I heard.
There's always something else coming. I don't know what it is just yet, but it's coming.
what is coming up like in the future? You performing somewhere? What is coming up in the next several months?
Um, April 28th at Spotlight, I'll be having my birthday party. I'll be DJing there along with another local DJ. Her name is DJ Cleveland Brown. Well, I shouldn't call her a local DJ. Another wonderful DJ who happens to be, when I say local, I mean she's in Detroit right now. She's here. But Cleveland Brown will be DJing with me along with another couple of people I'll announce a little bit later, my headliners. But that's April 28th, and that's going to be a good time. And then Catrice Goddard and I are actually working on planning an event together. We don't have a firm date on that just yet, but we'll be definitely sharing that. And that should be fun. That's going to be about consciousness and wealth consciousness and expansion and mind shifts and all the great things.
I love it.
I do too. Divinity, how can people find you?
Well, let's see. My website is thisisdivinity.com. And then you can find me on social media, Instagram, I'm at Divinity. Facebook, I think it's facebook.com/Divinity Sings. And I'm on Twitter, although since it's X, I don't, tweet. I don't mess with X like that no more. Like I literally have not updated my app because I don't want to get rid of my bird. So I'm still calling it Twitter. I am still on Twitter at Divinity Divine. So you can find me all of those places. I host a monthly radio show. You can find those shows archived on Mixcloud for it's called Little Bit Radio. It goes with my nonprofit organization. And that's another way that I teach. So through the music, and there's a little bit minute every show where I just give a little blurb, a little uplift, a little something. So yeah, that's the things.
Awesome. So very grateful for the gift of you. So very grateful.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
Absolutely. Again, like Michele always says, fastest hour of your day. It really and truly is. So again, thank you as always for everything that you do, the impact that you're having, the transparency that you gave on this show, and just pulling up again the message from Monet. And this is again what Amazing Women Speak is. This was confirmation for her. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who tuned in today. Super shout out to Catrice and Sydney for helping you along your journey. People like that are invaluable. And I'm a firm believer in coaches. And coaches need coaches, but we've been conditioned to try to do this thing ourselves, this thing called life. And it's really a mistake to try to do it yourself. Everyone needs somebody speaking life into them and helping them along this journey. Praying where it helps, it is not enough. You actually have to go out there and do the work. And sometimes you got to have somebody holding your hand, pushing you,
right,
and pulling you.
I was just going to say that. Yes.
In some instances. And so for anybody that's listening, that is in a place where, and it's not even that you're tired of being sick and tired, but that you've been trying to level up. You've been trying to elevate to that next level, but you've kind of plateaued and stayed where you are. Seek some help. Let somebody help you to shine. You're worth it, right? And that's the biggest thing that you got to understand. You're worth it. It's important. And it's, step into that God-given greatness, rely on that faith and move. So I thank you for that. Michele, thank you for helping and curating this conversation. Again, I am Crystal Gunn. I am a Black woman and I own my amazing. Michele?
Another amazing show.
Absolutely.
Crystal, always I wrap up thanking you for the obedience that you continue to show with the call that God has placed in your life. You truly have blessed women that have physically never been in your presence. And every time we have another guest on, that is affirmed one more time. Your reach is immeasurable. And I'm very grateful to be able to call you my best friend, that I have the access that other folks are trying to get at, because you truly do bring a gift to this world. And I am truly honored to know you. And I get to call you friend. Divinity, you gave me something else to think about. I grew a little more today. I love the way that you think about life. And I love the way that you own your amazing. It is truly a gift. And it has been an honor to sit in this space with you and get to know more about your piece of this thing called life and the impact that it has. Very, very grateful to be in your presence. My name is Michele Harper. I am a Black woman, and without apology.
You got to say it again, because technology
Now you
messed
got to
up
say it
on here.
again now, for real. You got to say the whole thing again.
Oh, what happened?
You got cut off on the end. Come on.
Michele Harper. We need you to say that the mantra of all mantras. We need you to run that back.
Absolutely. All the time, every time. My name is Michele Harper. I am a Black woman. Without apology, I own my amazing.
Come on, Divinity.
Well, this was an honor to be here with you, ladies. It was an honor to get a chance to share a little bit of my journey, a little bit of my story. And what I hope is that everybody knows that they are amazing. And the only thing they have to do to tap into that amazing is to know it and to own it and to shine it and to show it. Ooh.
I know.
I am Divinity. I am Divinity. I am a Black woman, and I completely and totally own my amazing.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for all of the comments in the chat. It has been off the chain, and I just could not get to them all. So thank you. Thank you. I pray that this conversation was absolutely insightful for everybody. Please find Amazing Women Speak on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Spotify. Like us, y'all. Subscribe on all of the platforms. And take a look at the past episodes. Find the ones that speak to your soul. There will be many. Watch them, join, comment, and share them with others that you know. Thank you all again for joining us this evening. Thank you for those who tune in each and every week. We notice you. We appreciate you. We love you. Be sure to tune in next week as we continue the My Seat at the Table theme for Women's History Month. And with the topic of, Michele, this one is specific for you. Beyond the Glass Ceiling, the dynamic leadership of Black women in corporate frontiers.
I love it. Who cannot wait?
Yeah, so it's going to be a very, very interesting conversation. Thank you all so much. Thank you for tuning in yet again. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll see you next week.